Hi, I'm Patrick Convery. This is Joe Mullings, and you are watching The Dirty Dozen. Joe, we just introduced the network to digital media, branding, why they should do it. A lot of people want to do it. A lot of people think they want to do it. I want to talk about shifting your mindset and committing yourself and investing in your own career. Because I see this all the time. I played sports my whole life growing up. You name it, I probably played it. I know you can relate to that. There's definitely the fighter spirit. Some people have it, some people don't. But whether you're training for a sport, if it's something, just a personal weight loss journey, trying to drop some pounds, you're trying to get sober, you're trying to, it could be you're shooting for the next raise, right? Or the next big opportunity at work. People fall in love with the idea of doing things. They think they want something, and I think but deep down they don't. They want the result. They don't want to go through the journey. They don't want to put in the work. And I see it all the time, especially when it comes to marketing. People will reach out to me, and I'll spend an hour or two coaching them, giving them advice, and they might follow it for a week or two. And then I guess life happens. They get busy. They don't see immediate results, and they fall off. And deep down, what that's telling me is they didn't really want it. They weren't committed enough. For me personally, when it comes to branding, you know, I understand media. I went to school for TV, radio production. I worked in various marketing roles. I get it, and that's the value I provide to the network. But myself, up until really Burt Miller came on board, and then you came and spoke at United, that's when something clicked for me personally. It really lit a fire under me to commit myself, because Burt said this to me. He said, "This is your career. If it's just another job for you, then don't worry about creating a brand on LinkedIn. But if this is your career, you need to find time and you need to do it." So I just want to put this message out to our network members. This is about changing your mindset. It happens all the time. People reach out to me. They want to do it. One, they're afraid. They're afraid to put themselves out there on social media, and I'm sure you run into that all the time. So let's start there. Let's start with the people who are afraid. Before we get into committing yourself and finding time, what is your message for people who are scared of LinkedIn right now?
Yeah. So, the human animal is interesting. Is we will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. That's just what we'll do. In other words, if I said to you, Patrick, here's $5. If you do this, you can earn that $5. On the other side, I said, I'm going to take $5 from you, and you'll work harder to keep the $5, right? Than work to get. Yeah. So that's the avoidance of pain versus pleasure, right? So what you have to do is, the first thing you do is you have to align in your mind that if you don't do this, this is going to be the outcome, versus if I do this, this is going to be the outcome. It's a very subtle difference, but it's a profound mindset in whatever you take on in your life, whether it's a marriage, a sig other, losing weight, bodybuilding, winning a trophy. If I don't do this, what is going to happen to me? And so that's the first question that should drive behaviors. The next is understand that the very first day you do it will be the worst day you ever do it. And I've said it a number of times is, everything we're great at today, we once sucked at. There is a fear, and there's a justifiable fear, just like it's the fear of public speaking. This is on that same platform. Yeah. Is you're putting yourself out there and you're worrying about being judged, and that's entirely normal. What you need to understand is you don't have to put yourself out there. You can start this by putting somebody else's thought out there. We talk about original artist, we talk about DJ, and we talk about cover band. If you take the DJ and just DJ first, forget cover band. If you take the DJ approach.
Explain the DJ approach.
So original music is being original songwriter. James Taylor probably never covered anybody in his life, justifiably so. For those that are old enough to know JT. Now, JT in the current environment is Justin Timberlake, right? Yeah. Both original scores. Now, that is if you write your own music, you perform your own music, and you'll stand up there and you'll live your life out loud and your heart out loud. That's an original songwriter. The cover band is, everybody knows what a cover band is. The DJ is taking somebody else's music, standing behind the sound table, and probably some sort of facade and spinning somebody else's thing, but getting a feeling from the audience that you're trying to, manipulate in a positive way, happiness. And so take the DJ approach if you're a little nervous. Take the DJ approach is play somebody else's article, play somebody else's commentary. And then if you're courageous enough, add a little sort of dialogue to that. And that would be my first step into, there's a quick story, and I don't want to make this run too long. Anybody who, before they became political, I loved Pearl Jam. So in the beginning, and I think it was the same with Barbra Streisand for the old school, so I can cover both again. They would sing with their back to the audience because they were nervous. And I think Vedder was one of those. Actually, Darren, you probably would know that. Vedder would sing nervously with his back to the audience, I believe. I know Streisand for sure when she first started. And so because they were nervous about being judged until they got enough confidence, and then they turned around and obviously became phenomenal performers. So I would say that it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be worrying about being judged. Start out with that DJ approach.
And we're going to dive into the DJ, cover band, original artist later in the Dirty Dozen. But I want to assure everybody watching this at home right now, there is no boogeyman on LinkedIn. And if you mess up, nobody's going to remember it but you. So just get over it and keep moving forward. Joe, you have thousands of people consuming your content every day. Even myself, what I was starting to say was I didn't put a lot of effort into LinkedIn, and then people were coming to me for advice. It's my job, and I'm hosting workshops, I'm hosting sessions like this. So over 6 months ago, I said, you know what, I need to practice what I preach, and I need to get serious about this because this isn't, and it's not just for my current job, but it's for my career.
Sure.
I need to establish a brand, and I enjoy it. It's one of the bright spots of my morning. I wake up and I put content together and I push it out. The effect, the positive effect that it has had on my brand overall, I have people who reach out to me via email, who thank me. Hey, thanks for putting this out. I'm a little scared, I'm a little hesitant to post on LinkedIn, but you're making it easier for me to understand. You're giving me a little bit of confidence doing it. And that's because, we're gonna get into swim lanes later and finding your North Star a bit, but my main focus is on branding and marketing, but my secondary track is about motivation and just doing it and getting shit done. And that's how I live
you
my
get to
life.
practice too, so understand that you're going to get better over time. The more that you practice most things, as long as you practice correctly, you'll get really good at what you practice.
Yeah.
So again, always be careful that you're not practicing the wrong thing. But your skills are going to get better over time.
Like anything, whether it's boxing, whether even
Whatever it is.
You brought up marriage and relationships. It takes work.
Yep, it's a lot of work.
Nothing comes
a lot of work,
naturally. So
absolutely.
the results are there, and I haven't even scratched the surface of where I want to be, but just doing the things that you stood on the stage at United down here in Florida in September of 2019. And that's where you got my attention, and that's where I started implementing these things, and I adapted to the breadcrumb approach, and started implementing that. And now my engagement compared to what it was, through the roof. People reaching out to me, people I don't even know I'm building relationships with, and that's just the start. So for everybody watching at home, my message to you is stop being afraid. You just need to do it, but you need to be serious about it. You have to put in the work. World champion boxers, they don't just jump in the ring. I'm from Philly. We love the Rocky story. But that never happens, right? You have to work your way up there. You spend hours and hours in the gym, hours doing cardio, hours sparring with other people before you can even get your first professional fight, let alone become the champion. So look at social media the same way. You have to take your punches. You have to get out there and be active. It will pay off, I promise. But you have to commit yourself. And if you're saying right now, I don't have the time for this. How am I supposed to do this? I come in, I'm in the office all day. I come home, I have to take care of the kids. I have to cook, I have to clean the house, whatever it is. You know what? That's life. Everybody has a life. And you have to find time for this because you find time for other things. I'm sure as busy as everybody is at home, and I'm not knocking anybody, you still find time to squeeze in an hour or two of Netflix. You still find time to get up and go for a run. And I'm not saying you should sit on LinkedIn instead of taking care of your health, but we can always prioritize and find time for the things that are important to us. If you want the results, you need to make sure that this is important to you at home.
Yeah, we tend to procrastinate the things that are not important to us. It's not the things we don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's you can find yourself doing very difficult things every day. So people think that they procrastinate due to difficulty. It's not that. As they procrastinate due to they have not assigned importance to it. So again, it comes back to the beginning of the conversation: is what is the cost to you if you don't do this? And then based upon that, you should drive your behaviors.
So my message to wrap this up is commit to yourself, commit to your career, commit to your company, to your employees. Be patient, but be consistent. You have to keep doing it. You might not see results right away. All right, that is the Dirty Dozen. And remember, it's important to shift your mindset and commit yourself. Invest in your future. Invest in your career. Thank you.